Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC Show. We're on.
Good day, ladies and gents. I'm Emilio A. Colon, and welcome to the EAC Show, coming to you from sunny South Florida. We got Marcus Smack, and we also got Big Man 420. Happy birthday, Cameron Dinnan, the big one. What's going on, Cam?
Not much. Like you said, it's the birthday, big 2-7. Like he said, also it's on 420. So
wake and bake.
Yes, it's been celebrated a little bit, but also had some nice family time. So celebrated that way as well. But it's good to be here. Missed the last couple shows, so excited to get going.
Yo, man, happy 420.
Huh?
27. Yeah. Oh man, it just made me feel so old.
Yeah, you expected older?
I thought you was older than me.
It's the beard.
Happy 420 to all of those potheads out there. I saw a video of Willie Nelson and one of the Marley brothers smoking weed. You know, Mike Tyson puffing it out today. All of the people enjoy 420. Cameron, happy birthday. We're here for episode 30 of the EAC show. And a lot of stuff to talk about, but it's pertaining to the best basketball player, in my opinion, to ever live. Michael Jordan, The Last Dance, showed up on ESPN first 2 episodes last night. Absolutely amazing documentary. Cameron, tell me a little bit about what you thought about The Last Dance.
Yeah, I loved it. It was it met up to the hype, I think. Obviously, they moved it up early to let us all, watch something here while we're quarantined. But I really liked what I saw. For me, Emilio, we were talking before the show. It was more of an informative, like documentary to me almost because, like we just noted, I'm 27 years old, so I wasn't around for any of the great, Chicago Bulls, that era, really either dynasty, So to be able to see it, now, with all the footage and behind the scenes footage and not only see the big games and the big shots, but to see the entire series and the entire year really following that team and to meet the players it was really cool for me to watch, to be honest.
Man, shout out to, I think it's Clay Matthews' uncle, who's the one who directed the actual documentary. And shout out to everybody that allowed access, Michael Jordan, the Bulls, NBA Entertainment, all of them that allowed access for this incredible documentary. It lived up to everything. The first 2 episodes, I could have watched the whole 10 episodes last night. I wouldn't have went to sleep. Michael Jordan giving us a descriptive layout of what the Bulls were like before he got there. Cocaine, strippers, weed, more drugs, alcohol, all of it was just, it's basically what we thought. It's literally what the ABA and all that stuff was back in the days in the NBA with the Chicago Bulls present. There was no structure. There was no discipline. It was the Wild Wild West. Guys were doing whatever they want, snorting lines, having sex with strippers, smoking weed, drinking, all that type of stuff. It's basically a regular Tuesday night in Miami for us.
Right, yeah. It's like some pickup ball. Yeah,
Can I take that option for 1,000, sir?
Yeah. I was just about to say, that's Marcus's kind of ball right there. Yeah, but anything went. Anything goes in those old school days in the NBA. It was fun basketball to watch. To think about how much the game has changed, not only from the back end standpoint, but just the product you're watching, the style of basketball, how much it's changed from then to now. So it's cool on multiple fronts to see what we saw last night.
The competitive spirit of one of the greats just showed out in this documentary. Also, we posted it on the IG page for Larry Bird, a legend of the basketball game, to sit there and say that Michael Jordan is not Michael Jordan. He's just basically God disguised as Michael Jordan is crazy.
Yeah, that was some high praise. And I've always loved Michael Jordan. One of my favorite quotes, I don't know if they mentioned, because we were talking, I missed the second part last night. I saw the first episode. I pulled the dummy move. I thought it was one every Sunday, so I'm going to watch the second episode. But one of my favorite Michael Jordan quotes is they asked him, have you ever, they talked about his losses, and some of the losses that he reflected on back in his time. And he's like, I've never lost. And the interviewer was a little confused. They were looking at him like, what do you mean you've never lost? And he's like, I've never lost. I've only ran out of time. Yeah, so that's how he views, wins and losses. Like, he can win every single game. It doesn't matter. as long as the time is on his side. So I thought that was a nice little wrinkle in to see what kind of champion he is and the type of winner he is.
Let me explain something to you. The documentary that we all want to see, Marcus Mack and Cameron, is what was going on before Jordan got to the Bulls. We want to see the documentary about the coke, the weed, the strippers, all of that. We want to see that.
Yes. Yeah. It could be like a right. That could be like a Netflix show itself. The pre-Michael Jordan Bulls days.
Before Mike. That's the name. That's the name of the documentary. Before Mike. Before Mike.
I like that a lot. It's catchy. I think that would do well. I can't even imagine what some of those guys were, how old they are now, and the type of interviews that'd be given on that.
Could you imagine them reminiscing on when they used to do stuff? They got children, they got grandchildren, whatever. Right. And now, I used to blow down lines all the time in the bathroom. Mike would knock on the door and we'd be like, shh, quiet.
That must have been great times in a place like Chicago too. Unreal how he kept saying Michael wanted to bring. He's like, I don't see another line that I like. He's like, I don't see why the Chicago Bulls can't be looked at like the Los Angeles Lakers or the Boston Celtics. He's like, I'm going to make that happen here. So the fact that he just took Chicago and brought them into a new world athletically and in the sports world, it's pretty amazing.
Just imagine if everything went the other way and he became like a Karl Malone, or he became like a Patrick Ewing or Charles Barkley, to where he was so super, super competitive and really, really good, but he never won anything. You know what kind of stories or things would be said about him? They would call him a prick, an asshole, a jerk, whatever. They would call him everything under the sun because he couldn't get it done.
Right. Yeah.
Listen, there's a story about Michael Jordan. They said they made a bet, like, it was for charity. If he misses some shots, then he has to give all the kids sneakers.
Yeah, that was with Chris Paul. I remember that. Go ahead, Marcus. Keep going.
He missed no shots.
No.
Jordan doesn't even miss shots for charity.
Not at all.
No handouts, no free gimmies out here.
Listen, if they was to do any kind of documentary on him, this would definitely be the cover.
That's what he would look like.
That's definitely the cover right there.
So I don't want to spoil it too much for you. I didn't know that you didn't see the second part, Cam, but unfortunately, my story about the whole first two episodes was basically about how Jerry Krause got killed during the documentary, about how he was and how he handled things as general manager for the Bulls. Watching this documentary, honestly, Marcus Mack and Cameron, I thought Jerry Krause was an absolute genius.
Yeah.
The GM, you and I said this before the show started, the GM is not someone that's supposed to be liked.
Right.
He's not.
GM's not there to make friends.
He's not there to make friends. He did an amazing job constructing a team that had the best player of all time. That's a given, He kept the salary cap extremely, extremely low for a very long time until Michael's number became astronomical and he started making $30 million a year in his last 2 years of his deal with the Bulls. I mean, Scottie Pippen ended up agreeing to a ridiculous deal. His agent is a dummy and should be shot. Not literally. I'm just joking, obviously. But you can't get mad at Jerry Krause for being really, really good and frugal when it came to his job and his money. Well, it wasn't his money, but it was his job to make sure that the Bulls were winning, profitable, and they were making money.
And continuing to win, right? He made all the necessary moves, whether it was a popular thing for him to do or not. It's about the team. We keep going back to it. So I thought he did a great job too. Sort of like a Theo Epstein before his time. So
even better.
Just a locked and loaded team. You talked about the salary cap that Scottie Pippen had. I mean, he could have been paid. He's considered the best two-player of all time, if not so. He could have been paid that sort of money, Michael Jordan money, as a one on a different team. So to get him for that type of salary, I mean, it's an unbelievable job by the GM, and he's an unsung hero of that dynasty.
So what Scottie ended up agreeing to, and this was basically to create cap to be able to try to sign Tony Kukoc and further players later on, because the way the cap structure was before the NBA really exploded and the salary started to increase, they wanted to stretch Pippen's contract that he already agreed to longer to give them more financial flexibility flexibility to be able to get Tony Kukoc in a few years because Jerry Krause had a really, really big hard-on for Tony Kukoc. So what ended up happening is that's what caused the friction between Pippen and Krause was like, oh, take this deal now so we could go get this player later. And everybody knows the famous story of Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen going after Tony Kukoc in a 1992 Barcelona Olympic game, the championship game against Croatia in the U.S., where Tony Kukoc went 2 for 11 and he couldn't even see the ball because Jordan and Pippen shut him down completely. But it wasn't because they didn't like Tony Kukoc. It was because they were literally saying they were playing Jerry Krause. That's how they felt.
Right. Yeah. It was almost like they just wanted to get more back at him than to do, stay on the path they should have stayed on. So, the bad guy, you can be the bad guy sometimes, but as long as, like we said, winning helps everything. So.
Oh, man, fellas, I can't wait to get to this topic. Oh, my God.
Shush, please. So back to, listen, let's ignore that. So back to the Last Dance. The Last Dance, Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player of all time. Scottie Pippen's up there too. Dennis Rodman is amazing. Phil Jackson, great. But I think that what Jerry Krause is getting, he's getting an unfair shake. There was not one single championship won in Chicago before he constructed the actual team in Chicago. He was a 2-time executive of the year. He made the Bulls extremely profitable until the second to last year where he had to pay Jordan $31 million and the last year where he had to pay Jordan $33 million, which he didn't want to do. Those were things that were vetoed by the owner. So I think Jerry Krause is getting rich. I mean, shout out to Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. They're great and all that stuff. But I think Jerry Krause is getting an unfair shake. I think he deserved better than that. And, to put together that type of unit to give Michael Jordan the weapons that he needed there, like, I think he's just getting a raw deal.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's the unsung hero. He's the guy behind the curtain that nobody looks at. So there's one on every team. And, sometimes you get dogged, sometimes you don't. But 6 rings ain't nothing to shy away at. So
they didn't have one. They didn't have a single solitary one before.
Right. They had some. Right. They had some rings, but a different kind of rings. Drug related rings. Different. So he brought them into the new era.
They have pinky rings where you can move the pinky ring and take a bump real quick.
Right.
Well, I can't wait for Sunday's episode 3 and 4. I know they teased a little episode of episode 3 already in the trailer, basically saying that when Scottie Pippen ended up coming back, Dennis Rodman went on a vacation. They were all laughing because they knew that if Dennis Rodman went on vacation, he wasn't coming back. They were going to lose him because of how crazy he was. So I can't wait to see episode 3 and episode 4. I think The Last Dance is something that everybody in sports needs right now. And if you're not completely solidified that Michael Jordan, hands down, was the best and is the best basketball player of all time, I don't know what else to tell you.
I'm on board. I think it's very close. It's a lot closer than people like to think between him and LeBron, but I do still think MJ holds that title.
Yeah, absolutely.
I definitely agree with that. I'm not going to chime in too much because there's too many.
That's a whole show on itself.
That's might debate, and I can't debate, so I won't. But I definitely think when I hear about people compare Jordan and LeBron, I know that there's a valid comparison, but I mean, let's look at the results. I mean, Jordan holds the results. I mean, rings he had? 6 rings?
Yeah, 6.
6 rings, right? And
6 rings, 2-time Olympic gold medalist. I mean, he's like a 5-time MVP or 6-time Finals MVP, 15-time All-Star, some nonsense like that. Like
product is different.
Champion 10 times. The list is unprecedented. It just goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, Jordan brought a team together. You know what I'm saying? I think even when LeBron was in Miami, it wasn't LeBron that brought that team together. It was Dwayne Wade that brought that team together. So, you could compare them skill-wise, but as far as results,
it's different eras too. Like I said, we can go. This would be an entire show. We could talk about this certain topic, but I think at face value, it's easier to just say that MJ is the king, the GOAT.
So Cameron, Marcus Mack, after this promo, I know we got to get into Social Media Mondays. We do Social Media Mondays every Mondays where we get a list of topics over the weekend that Cameron and myself and Marcus Mack just share with each other and stuff that we want to talk about on our Monday show. So this part of the show is brought to you by El Cubano Sandwich Shop. They're our sponsor. Use the promo code EAC and receive discounts on online pickups or delivery orders. Enjoy a cafe con leche or natural pre-workout shot of that Cuban coffee to start your day. The daily lunch specials and their steak sandwich is next level. Once again, use the promo code EAC. That's elcubanosandwichshop.com or 954-906-5110. Remember, use the promo code EAC, and that's elcubanosandwichshop.com in Coral Springs. Marcus Mack, Cameron, we got EAC, the EAC Show, episode 30. We got Social Media Mondays, and our first topic, Marcus Mack, is?
First topic is Jaguars owner and player beefing, which you definitely got to cover that one. I have no idea what's going on with that.
Yeah, exactly. So, Cam, we got Yannick. I forgot how to say his last name. I practiced
you were practicing
five to seven times before the show started. I forgot. So we got Yannick and we got Saad Khan's son, Tony Khan, arguing and beefing on Twitter, basically about back and forth, that Yannick wants to get traded. Tony saying, yo, we'll trade you when the time is right or when we get compensated properly. They just going back and forth, Twitter beefing all day long. And Tony ended the beef pretty much on like, yo, we'll trade you when we get the right compensation. He's not really doing us any favors by blasting ownership on Twitter right now.
Right. Yeah, and he's not. I mean, the owner for the Jaguars. Say his name again. What is it? It's
Shad Khan.
John Khan. Right. He's not very liked in the city of Jacksonville. Going back from a long time, his decisions on front office staff members who have made poor draft decisions or trade decisions. You got the decision to put the pool in the stadium, build a pool in the stadium. A lot of people were against that. You went ahead and tossed money at that. You have the fact that they are now playing 2 games a year in London. That was his decision, a monetary move. A lot of rumors saying, all those rumors that aren't true about them moving over to London. But the fact that, season ticket holders are losing 2 home games this past year, they weren't happy about. So he doesn't have a lot of fans in Jacksonville. So it doesn't surprise me that this is another event that happened.
This all boils down to ownership not making the right decisions on players. I hate to do this to you. I know you're a UCF homer, but Blake Bortles was never the answer there. They gave that guy so much money, and it didn't pan out.
Listen, that I knew that Blake Bortles was not going to have a career the second he got drafted by the Jaguars. The quarterbacks go to Jacksonville to die. That's what happened. I remember where I was. Unfair. You can't name me a Jacksonville Jaguar quarterback in the last 2, besides Byron Leftwich, that has been a good quarterback.
Mark Brunell was a good Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback. Go look up all his numbers and then compare.
I know. I got to go real far back to look up his stats. That's the thing. Were they writing stats down on hieroglyphics and rock?
It wasn't that long. It wasn't that long.
What I'm saying is that I knew the second he got drafted that it wasn't going to be a good career because I hated Jacksonville for him. I wanted him to go to Houston, number 1 overall, because they had at least a better team built around him. I hated when he went to Jacksonville. So
let's just do the numbers real quick, and this is just like a brief summary to show you what the bad decisions that the Jacksonville Jaguars front office has made, even with GMs, people that are in control in football, players being traded. Blake Bortles,
who took him to an AFC championship,
no longer there. Nick Foles, starting quarterback, no longer there. Jalen Ramsey, cornerback, no longer there. Calais Campbell.
Who they drafted high.
Huh?
Blaine Gabbert, who they drafted high, another quarterback.
Blaine Gabbert, no longer there. Calais Campbell, no longer there. Supposedly they're going to trade Leonard Fournette and Yannick. What's the guy's name? Tom Coughlin, he's fired. I'm trying to think. Marquise Lee, gone. Justin Blackmon, smoke weed every day. It's crazy the amount of mistakes and bad decisions that this team has made over and over and over again in a division that is completely winnable almost every year in the AFC South.
Yeah, that's what's so sad about it is because they don't build. They keep rebuilding. There's no reloading. They're not putting nobody around a quarterback to succeed. When Blake Bortles was the quarterback, his best wide receiver was D.D. Westbrook when D.D. Westbrook was in his second year. He had no other wide receivers. His tight end was over 35 years old. He led the NFL in the quarterback for wide receivers drops which means everyone was just dropping the ball out there. I'm not making excuses for him. He did overthrow. He did throw a lot of interceptions, but there was no help. Nobody was helping him on the offensive side of the ball move forward.
Yo, Cam, I got to keep it real with you. Gardner Minshew's going to be thrown to a bunch of XFL players if this keeps up. Seriously, like, real talk.
Honestly, it's Cam Phillips and Mercedes Lewis, whoever the hell else is out there. Fournette. I mean, you can understand his frustration at this point because there's no offensive unit there. It's just a guy here, a guy there. So
Something's wrong when the Jacksonville Jaguars are okay going forward with Gardner Minshew when you have an opportunity to either get Cam Newton or to get what's the kid's name from Florida State that was in Tampa? Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston.
They'd rather go with Gardner Minshew than those two options.
That's pretty. I mean, they must really listen. Hey, when Gardner Minshew was at Washington State and when he was at East Carolina, even earlier on in his college career, he's known to be a very accurate quarterback. He's not. I'm not summing his whole game up to throwing check down passes, but he puts ball in receivers and running backs' hands. At this point for the Jaguars, that's really all you need. You have a good running game. You have a decent offensive line. You need someone to connect the ball. You need someone to put A to B together and to be able to move downfield.
Not for nothing, listen, the Jacksonville Jaguars fans deserve better. Shad Khan, Tony Khan, go do your job and go get some players there so the fans could cheer and have something to look forward to. And hopefully the Jacksonville Jaguars can compete and win the AFC South. Seriously.
Right, correct.
Marcus Mack, we got Social Media Monday, topic number 2.
Topic number 2. No, this is topic number 3.
No, 2.
Number 2, sir.
Okay. Yes, you're right. John Elway.
You know what? Wait. You know what it is?
I really
want to get to that last topic so bad. Yeah. That's what it is.
I really want to get to it. Okay, so then this next topic is John Elway's virtual draft.
So, Cam, the NFL did a little mock virtual draft test today. And at first, it was a disaster because the Cincinnati Bengals were having technical difficulties, and it took longer.
Of course they were. Of course the Cincinnati Bengals were.
It took longer for them to get their pick in, but there was a couple of hiccups. I guess there's some bandwidth issues and what kind of internet service and what kind of download speed and upload speed do you have specifically in the place that the draft is being conducted individually.
I bet it just looked like a bunch of dads trying to figure out like Facebook. Everyone was staring into the screen and everyone trying to figure out.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I totally understand it. We're new to this Zoom stuff, and even when we were doing our show when we first started, Marcus Mack, you could be a person to speak on this. We had a lot of technical difficulties, sound issues, visual issues, consistency issues. It's not something that you can really just pick up one day and the next day you already know everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and it's not like they can have access to their IT people or their sound people all the time because there's only so many people you can have in a room because of these guidelines that you're only supposed to have like 10 people at a time, So it depends, and then you have other stuff. Okay, what if the Wi-Fi goes down to the place that you're at? Then you're really messed up. Like, could you imagine if the Miami Dolphins are trying to make a trade and everybody's trying to get the approved players and things situated and what trades are going to go through, and all of a sudden Comcast decides to have a brain fart and all of a sudden the Wi-Fi doesn't work?
Right. There's an outage in your area or something, and you gotta quickly get in the car and drive to your sister-in-law's house to trade the 4th pick in the draft. I'm telling you, there's something like that. It's coming. It's brewing. I could feel it. There's going to be some sort of embarrassing, funny moment that costs a team a pick or a player. I can't wait to find out who it's going to be.
I mean, he said he went into a couple of issues. There were only a few issues, not really. And then once the hiccup was over, everything ran smoothly. I did see that Bud Light Seltzer is running a charity to where they want people to chime in and still boo Roger Goodell. And they're going to donate up to $500,000 for people that boo Roger Goodell every time a pick is made in the NFL draft. So it's
that's the sugar honey iced tea moment. That's good on Bud Light. That's because I was worried that there wasn't going to be any boos for Roger Goodell. So I'm happy to hear we're gonna have it.
Yeah, so we're still gonna have that. So Marcus Mack, we're gonna get into Social Media Monday topic number 3.
Marlins CEO Derek Jeter forgoes $5 million salary due to this coronavirus. situation.
Shout out to Derek Jeter for doing something like that. I mean, obviously, we all know Derek Jeter's well off, but he doesn't have to do this. But he is doing it. He's giving up his $5 million salary this year in full to this whole coronavirus pandemic, COVID-19. You mother flower, you! I can't stand you. You're ruining everything for us. Once again, shout out to all the first responders, all the nurses, doctors, everybody on the front lines is helping us out. We all appreciate you. I mean, they're doing great with the 7 o'clock paying tribute to all those people every day. I know that a couple of other MLB staff members are also going to take pay cuts as well. I mean, this is just, it's going to happen. In order to get things going in the right direction, some sacrifices are going to have to be made.
Yeah. Hey, those who can will. And so that's humanity. So it's good to see that that's still going, and put your faith back in humanity a little bit, seeing that here and there and finding out people have put their money to good cause. And but, you know, Derek Jeter, I mean, $5 million, it's a lot of money, but for him, it's probably not too much. He probably just got a lot of nice little chunk of change selling his house in Tampa to Tom Brady.
But see, this is the stuff that I was telling Marcus Mack about last episode. I mean, the NBA players are taking 25% pay cuts starting May 15th. And, you know, you get some people that complain about that. They drugged it out. First, the NBA wanted to do 50%, and they ended up agreeing to doing 25%. Whereas you got MLB is like, oh, you want to take a pay cut? All right, no problem. Go ahead. Here, take my money. That's just the mind thinking of different sports. Like, NBA players will sit there and they'll fight. And then you got MLB players that'll be like, okay, here, no big deal.
Different leadership breeds different.
You can see the bias there. He didn't say different mindsets of people. He said different mindsets of sports. We all know that that Emilio is more biased towards baseball. So we're gonna
absolutely without question. But I didn't say that Cam did it. So it was almost like I was like the puppet master with the holding.
I'm just the yes man. I'm just typing him up as
he. Okay, Marcus Mack. Social Media Monday, topic number 4.
Yo, listen, when I seen this, I just started dying. I couldn't hold it. Okay, so Joe Buck, a commentator, turns down $1 million offer from a porn site. Porn site is named, can we talk about that? Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
The porn site is named I'm Live. And he's supposed to be commentating for 25 live adult, you know, like camera, they're going to do
Stop. Okay.
But I don't know if they understand, but they do live shots with him commentating. So he's going to narrate the movie as it's happening.
So while I'm like doing my thing, I just see Joe Buck in the upper right corner and
he's
like a little.
He's gonna be watching you. There you go. As you can see, Cameron is making a left stroke. Go ahead, Cam, you're doing your thing.
I'm gonna need to create an account on that website, but he should jump all in and just change his name from Joe Buck to Joe Fuck, and be the commentator for the face of Pornhub.
Oh,
now listen, not for nothing, his wife is also a sideline reporter, and shout out to her because she definitely has a sense of humor. And what she says is, of all the offers you've turned down to keep your day job, this one not only hurts the most, but also has the most potential. This is an epic fail. Shout out to her for literally playing along and going with it. Joe Buck also sitting there saying, depending on what porn site it is, it might be a porn site that's giving my money back to me, like, because that's how much money he's actually spent.
He's going to work for a free membership. Great.
Like, a lot of people had a lot of fun with it. I mean, shout out to, obviously the porn site is going to get free advertisement for it because everybody's going to be talking about them. And Joe Buck had a little bit of fun with it. His wife had a little bit of fun with it, and it was just nice. It was just funny. It was enjoyable. But like how Marcus Mack said earlier, you said, imagine him commentating on Peter North banging Lisa Ann. Right. and giving her the imagine load facial.
I can't even imagine having an actual sports commentator narrating my video.
I know. Like, hey, I'm gonna have to do some research. I'm gonna have to do some research tonight. Check it out.
You know what I need to do? I need to find. There's a guy in England. He's a sports soccer announcer. And obviously, there's no sports soccer going on right now. He's literally announcing people crossing the street at crosswalks.
Oh, he's doing like a parody video and like
He's,
Wow.
yeah, so like he'll be like lady in the red dress walking across the street faster than the white lady with the green dress, and she makes it and she wins. Like he's just announcing it.
content, whatever you can push out at this point.
Marcus.
Yo,
Marcus.
you know my mind is sick right now because I'm sitting here thinking like, can you imagine like as he's getting primed up, he's standing there saying, well, at the moment, as you can see, he's getting just a little bit stiff, but he's working on getting it up right now. The young lady.
He's going through his progressions.
Yeah, this is natural progression. The young lady, she seems to be using a little bit more spit than usual. All right now. He's
that
ready.
gives a new meaning to false start, Al.
Flag. So, if you guys don't know, Joe Buck obviously commentates for Major League Baseball, and he also commentates for the NFL. But Joe Buck's dad Joe Buck's a Hall of Famer himself, but Joe Buck's dad, the legendary Jack Buck, was also a MLB Major League Baseball commentator and Hall of Famer. And could you imagine if his dad was alive to this day to be like, Dad, yo, I got turned down $1 million to commentate on people having sex. His dad would be like, you better get that money. You better take it.
These times are hard, man. You better narrate that blowjob.
Yeah, like, bro, can you imagine how uncomfortable a female must be? She's in the spot like, bro, shut up, bro.
No, but actually, it's not like that, Marcus. It's not like that. They tape it and then
Joe Buck's not in the corner of the hotel watching.
Oh, he's not. Oh, he's not gonna be there.
No.
It says it's live.
No. They tape it, and then as they tape it, then they add the
It's like
audio
his reaction.
on.
He's watching it and telling you what he's seeing, kind of thing.
Oh, he's doing live reviews of porn.
Yes.
Can we get like an EAC porn review? Like,
Oh my God.
Let's all report back. We'll each do one, and that'll be the show on Wednesday.
No, actually, the show on Wednesday we have to finish. Listen, I forgot. One of our followers said this. We have to finish the draft 10. So we have to do the first 10. We still owe 5 picks.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do that on Wednesday. Yeah.
So this is definitely going to end episode 30. What a way to end episode 30 of the EAC show. Make sure you click like, subscribe, comment on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. We definitely do appreciate you guys listening and tuning in. Marcus Mack, appreciate you. Cameron, happy birthday.
Appreciate
We'll
you.
do the 3 hands and a clap, but we're awful on it with the Zoom. It sucks. So.
Right. Hey, what's it's my birthday, Marcus. Would you say that website is? I got no plans tonight.
Yo, I'm sitting here.
Oh man, guys, tune into episode 31 on Wednesday. We appreciate you guys.
I'm in my mind right now. Like, how do you narrate like a gangbang? Like, is it like how do you go about that? All right, y'all.
It's time to go. It's time to go. Later, guys.
Oh, sugar honey iced tea. It's the EAC show.